Hey, Matt Mathersum here with Math Madness. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the program. Well, for today's discussion, I thought let's go over the Pythagorean identities. Now, if it's been a minute since you've reviewed these, or if you've never been exposed to them before, then you're lucky you get to learn something new today. So behind me, we have the Pythagorean identities, all three of them and all of their glory. Well, let's focus on the top one first, because essentially what we can do, if we can memorize this top one, and I know that we can, then we can derive these other two based on our top one here. So how is this read, in case we've never read something like this before? Well, this is just read sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to numero uno, okay? So that's how this is read. So let's go ahead. I told you that we can derive these two from this line. So let's just go ahead and do that. What I've done is I've just recopied this up here. I haven't done anything to it at all. So we're going to solve for this second one here, all right? And I'm just going to give you a second to look at this to see if you can figure out how we get this from the top line here, all right? Now our first one is sine. So how would we get a tangent out of the sine? All right, your minute is up. I want us to think about algebra back in the day. What if we divide all three terms by cosine? Because what happens if I divide sine by cosine? That gives us a tangent, doesn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and just work this out, and we will get this, I promise you. So here goes. Let me just step over here. I'm going to divide this and this and this. Those are our three terms, and they're going to be divided by our cosine. I don't even want you to concern yourself with the squares at this moment. We'll get to those in just a minute. Just focus on the sine being divided by the cosine, and the cosine being divided by the cosine, and 1 being divided by the cosine. I don't think I've ever said cosine this much in my whole life. Cosine. There we go. One more. All right. So I did say that we could get this second line from this one, and we can. So sine being divided by cosine, we already said was tangent, right? That's the y over the x variable, right? Right. All right. So we got our 10 here, and it is squared, 10 squared. Well, if I divide cosine by cosine, what does that give me? Well, anything divided by itself is just numero uno. You know that? Yeah. All right. And then we have 1 being divided by the cosine. So 1 being divided by the cosine is equivalent to our, right, it's our secant squared of theta, which is represented here. Okay. Well, as you can see, I got the 10, I got the 1, and I got the secant squared from this. Again, if we can memorize this, then we get these other two. We'll solve for this third one right now. I'm not going to write it out because I just did this one right here for you. And I feel like you're probably smart enough to just be able to verbally talk through this with me and work it out on your own. And the fun you'll have. All right. So if we divided everything by cosine to get this, well, what is it going to take for us to divide by sine to get 1? Well, that's probably pretty obvious. If we just take sine and divide it by sine, that will give us 1, won't it? And if we take cosine, let me go up here. If we take cosine and divide it by sine, that's going to give us our cotangent function, isn't it? That's our x over the y. All right. Well, last but not least, we're going to take the 1 and divide that by the sine, and that's going to give us cosecant. Right. Well, if you're not confused enough, look at your trig books. You'll be able to get these derivatives. You'll be able to figure out these formulas. It's not that big a deal. It might look intimidating initially, but it's not, I promise you. If I can do it, well, you can do it too. Well, that's all the time we have for here on Math Madness. I am Matt Mathersum. I will see you soon.